Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Rick's Tech Pub. Shouldn't have the in front of it because there's no the in it. Um, yeah, I'm trying to remember even what day I'm in. I think it's Tuesday. Is it? Is that the rumor that's going around? Yeah, Tuesday, 27th of May already. Wow, where the H is this year going? It's just boom, just we're gonna be looking at December here pretty doggone quickly. You know, like I said, the older I get, the faster time goes. But anyhow, welcome to anybody. If anybody is watching at all, I just realized I don't have my chat up here. My chat keeps disappearing. Every time I open the damn thing, I gotta come down to docs, chat. There. Oh, and then I'm gonna go over to. Okay, and that is working. Okay. That I thought was hello, Ken. So, updates about me and my where have I been and why have I been kind of itchy on. Now I got a whole bunch of. I am on the wrong. See, on YouTube, there's such a big delay. So I'm going to come back over to OBS. Shows up immediately. I got some notes here that I've having to start doing this because the stuff I've been wanting to talk about hasn't been getting talked about. So, a few keynotes of things I want to talk about. But why my live streams lately have been kind of hit and miss. Lately, it's because of my health. And I've tested twice for COVID because I've got a paranoid mom. And I don't blame her. She's got leukemia. I could easily kill her. And I don't want to do that. So I've tested twice. And it came up negative twice. I just tested, I think, yesterday. Was it the day before? Yeah, one of them 2 days. And again, it came up negative. So I don't know what I've got. And I'm not going to go to the doctors because the health department, the Minnesota Health Department, has no idea what I have. And my mom asked, she said, would it help if he went to a doctor? And they said, more than likely not. Because if I can't tell you what he's got, more than likely they're just going to tell him he's got a cold, even though the health department thinks it's a little bit more than just a cold. But he's not COVID related. She doesn't know what I have, but she said, you got something that will not let go. So my mom just told me to start staying home a little bit more often. Every time I get sick or every time I come down with COVID, her expansion of let me out of my apartment shrinks. So now it's only go through that door right there where I leave. Can only go out that door when I absolutely have to. Otherwise, she said from now on, you're home. Because she has leukemia and she can't afford to be around me anymore if I'm as sick as I am. And I don't know what I've got. It's been coming and going. Yesterday, speaking of that, here we go. Goddamn cough. That's why I got off Zoom last night too. Not to mention that after you left, conversation just ended. So yeah, I don't know what I have. But I had to get off Zoom last night because I started coughing and I kept having to mute my volume, and I just said, guys, I gotta go to bed. This this cough is not going away. And these cough drops are not cough drops. I got the wrong kind. What I have is just the soothing throat. What I should have gotten is the middle one. one for severe coughs. That's what I've got, is a severe cough. All this stuff is just soothing the sore throat that I don't have, unless I start coughing a lot. So, that's the update on me. I've got something, the health department doesn't know what it is, and she said more than likely, if she can't pinpoint what I've got, whether it's a cold, the flu, or some kind of virus, she really did say there's really no sense in going to the doctor, because they're just going to nail it down as a cold, go home and get some rest. She thinks it's a little bit more than that, but exactly what it is, it can be anybody's guess. So she said stay home for 5 days, which I didn't do. Trying to stay away from people, which me staying away from people leads to loneliness, and me and loneliness, we don't get along. Bad things start going through my head if I stay alone for too long. I know most people in America, they go running away from people. I go running towards people. That's just me. I like being around people. Before I did my live stream just now today, I kicked 3 people out. I said, unless you guys want to sit right there and be on the live stream with me, and they all said no, then there's the door. And they all left. I said, come back at 2:45. I don't know when I'm going to end this live stream, but I'll try 2:35, 2:40. Because the last time I did a live stream, people started showing up when I was just going to end the live stream. So, and then today is probably going to be the opposite. Nobody's going to show up. No new people. And I'll go on for 35 minutes, 40 minutes, and nobody new showed up. So, it's kind of a hit and miss with this live streams. As far as computer stuff, now that's kind of a dud. I really haven't been doing much, being that nobody wants to be around me right now because nobody knows what I've got. So Bob, Nate, Joe, Mike, and everybody is telling me, stay home. We don't need you here. Well, that's fine, but they even took the tech phone support away from me. They don't want me doing that because they said, you're sick, we don't know what you've got, so no. Yeah, but I gotta do something when I'm sitting here. I can't just sit here. Well, that's what you're gonna do, is just sit there and do nothing. We'll do everything out in Brainerd and Baxter, and you can just sit home. Okay. That's the way you guys want it. I have to actually, what Bob told me to do is I need to go back to the clinic, go through a series of tests, blood tests, other kind of tests to narrow down exactly what I've got. And I'm not wanting to do that because they're going to say I've got something that I didn't think I had, and then they're going to try pinpointing it on COVID, that I did have COVID when I don't think I did. So really it's going to be no point in doing that. So he said, well, then we'll see you at the end of next week. Not this week. Wait a minute, let me get the date straight on. He told me a specific date to call him, and it looks like the 6th of June. I'll call him and get put back on the list for, their tech that can be called for computer problems. Right now, they wipe me off everything. I pretty much, I told him I don't want to do anything right now because, like I said, I don't know what I've got. I could have nothing but just a cold, but who knows nowadays. But, and that's enough on me. Oh, where am I? Oh yeah, there's gonna be no sirens on this live stream. That was a bit of a fluke. That I got my butt chewed out for. Hey Darren, I got my butt chewed out from a few local people because I did a live stream, knowing damn well that we're under a tornado warning. A few local people watched my video, and I said, "Why'd you even do that video when we're under a tornado warning? The sirens went off, and you sat there and did a live stream?" It's like, uh huh. They don't understand why I did that. They looked at me and they pointed their fingers at me and they said that was a stupid thing for you to do. You should have canceled. You should have. You're sitting right next to a window. Uh huh. Shook her head and they just, wow, okay. So yeah, it might have been a little unwise to do a live stream that day, knowing that we were under a tornado warning. Maybe they're right. Maybe I should have just canceled and said, I'll come back on the live stream when the weather all. And oddly enough, after that whole fiasco, the sirens going off, 35 minutes later, we're back in blue skies. So yeah, I should have just waited till 2:35 and then did my live stream from 2:35 till 10 after 4 or something, but I didn't want to confuse people by changing the time, so I just said, oh, we're just going to go for it. I know we're in our tornado warning, but what's the worst that can happen? That's how I looked at it, and boy, people did not like me saying that. They do not like people saying, oh, what's the worst that can happen? Get blown away by a tornado? Oh, well, they didn't like me saying that, so they'd like me to have a little bit more regards and a little bit more input in regards to my safety and not doing stupid things like having a live stream during a tornadoes going through our neighborhood. Which I found out there were no tornadoes in Brainerd that day. So why the hell the tornado sirens went off? People are figuring, and it's like I said in the live stream that day, the sirens are probably going off because the thunderstorm has gotten to the point where they are telling you, get your ass back inside. This is not that time to be outside. That's why they set the sirens off twice. It's kind of telling you, this is not the time to be outside. Get inside, take cover. Go in and read your local weather forecast because it says take cover now, which I was watching going across my stream while I was on the live. Says take cover now. And I'm sitting right next to a damn window, and I'm saying in big letters, take cover now. And I'm sitting. Probably not the smartest thing, but oh well. I'm still here. The building's still here. Building's not hurt. No broken windows. So I wasn't all that worried. I think everybody else was more worried than I was. But things turned out fine. Because like I said, 35 minutes later, we're looking at blue skies. So we just had a nasty thunderstorm go marching through Crow County. It happens once in a while. But, today, it's overcast and it has rained a little bit. That brief shower they said we were going to get, we got. It was just not so warm today. I stepped out once and I'm wearing shorts, thin shirt. I walked outside, stood there for about 15 seconds, turned back around, went back in. My legs started getting cold. Down here in my ankle there, it's like, brr, I'm cold. Okay, I'm going back in. It's not warm out here today. So the rest of you that are nice and warm in the United States, I envy you. We're in, I believe, the low 50s. I'll get to the tech news here in a minute. I just want to get you guys caught up on what's been going on, because it's been kind of crazy. Now, Spectre. Hello. How am I doing? Like I said in this, like I've been saying, I don't know what I've got. I think it's just the ending of a cold. I don't know. I don't know. I've been kind of battling this for the last 8 days. Or 7, 8 days. And this started last week. So it's been going on for a while. I'm just gonna keep chewing on Halls because it does stop me from coughing. So I'm gonna chew on one more, and maybe that'll end it, so I can do this live stream without hacking to death. That, and I'm gonna have my Mountain Dew. Gotta have Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew, go get yours today. MountainDew.com. Doubt they'll ever become a sponsor of mine. I don't want sponsors. I don't want people throwing me money to do live streams. I mean, it'd be nice, but no. Especially with the conversation my mom and I had about it. She says, any offers you get for money that you're doing live streams or whatever. No, it wasn't my mom. I haven't even told her yet. Who the heck was it I told? Nah, I can't remember her name. I think I was going to mention it to my mom, but I'm not going to because, yeah. But no, I don't want any money or sponsors for doing live streams or doing uploads. I'm just doing this for the fun of it, you know? Hey, Darren, how you doing? So, Spectre, are you still here? People keep telling me to read chat. I'm reading chat and nothing's happening, so that's why I quit reading chat. And then 10 minutes later, read chat. Like, oh, you guys are saying stuff. Chat's just sitting there for now. I don't know. You guys still here? Maybe not. Oh, chat rate 0. Yeah, it's all zeros. Thought you guys, well, I don't know. Oh, well, on to... go back to... Oh, morning, Robert. Or afternoon. It's afternoon here. It is, well, is it 2:18 already? Holy shit, time's flying. I might have to go to 1:45 just to get some of the stuff I wanted to get through. Okay, yeah, it's just like I said in the first note that I hear. It's just been a rough 8 days, Spectre. I don't know what I've gotten. It's getting better. But boy, I tell you, the mornings have been rough. I woke up this morning, I had a sore throat, I was coughing. Yeah, I have no headache. So I'm hoping things go away by the time I have to go be with my mom on the 18th of June, I think. Because my appointment got changed to the 19th because she's changed it twice. I think she's my driver, so she's the one that takes me down there, but she's changed this appointment twice. I'm sure they're getting pissed at her because every time she does this, like, what are you going to change it to now? And she can't let them make the date. She tells the clinic when the appointment time will be because she's the one driving me down there. She has to pick and choose. She says, you can't give us the date and the time. I have to because I have to coordinate it to when I go get Rick, bring him back home, and then drive down to the cities. So you guys can't give us the time and date. I have to give it to you because that's the day I'm going to get down there and the time. And unfortunately, she picked an early time. I have to get up at 6 because I think our appointment time is 9:50 or something like that in the morning. So we're going to be leaving a little around, well, if it's 9:50, almost 10. Yeah, we'd have to leave around 8 o'clock. Takes an hour and a half to get down there, hour and 40 minutes, whatever. So Anyhow, um, news about Mozilla. I'm sure some of you already know this. I'm passing out old news because this is kind of old news. I've been paying attention more lately to my health and trying to figure out what's going on with that. And there are no answers, so I gave up. But Mozilla is dumping Pocket. And you know that little Pocket thing up in the upper, not right hand corner, but it's over a little bit. It's a little Pocket thing. Mozilla is dropping that. Excuse me. And I think they're doing this in attempts to staying afloat. Mozilla is starting to have some rough times. So to stay afloat, they're gonna have to start dissolving some things. And the first thing I guess they have decided is they're going to dissolve and get rid of Pocket. So where you can save it to read it later, the article or whatever you've put into Pocket. Pocket will save it for so amount of time. Well, they're getting rid of that feature. I think they're gonna have to start dumping some of their services just so that Mozilla can stay afloat. I think Firefox will be a different platform. I would think probably this fall. Because at the rate they're going, they're already dropping Pocket. The thing that's going to piss me off about this whole Mozilla Firefox thing, I don't want them to go to the extent of dropping the email. Because I use their email. And I don't know, it comes from Windows Live, you know, the Microsoft email, the Live account, live.com. But I have Thunderbird picking up the mail from my Live account. If that makes any sense, if I'm saying that right. So I have Live mail here from Microsoft, but it's getting tunneled into Thunderbird mail. And that's how I get my mail. It's through Thunderbird, but it's coming through from Live or whatever it is, Live mail. I don't know. But I think eventually they're going to end up dropping that. Or, here's what I'd kind of suggest, that I'll immediately drop Thunderbird if they're going to do this, but if they don't want to drop their Thunderbird, I think they're going to at some point. Maybe they should turn that into a paid version. You know, $2.99 a month, maybe. I don't know. But I don't want them to drop Thunderbird. And I have a fear if their woes and the problems they're having keep going to the point of what they're getting at, they're going to drop it. So, Thunderbird, well, Mozilla is who runs Thunderbird. And Firefox, I think, or some arrangement like that. They're going to have to start cutting some of their services. Because I think this all stems off of what Google Chrome did. I don't know. That's the rumors I've heard. Oh yeah. Google Chrome. Speaking of that, Google Chrome, if you have been keeping up on Google Chrome and the updates, Gemini AI will be soon integrated into your Chrome browser. But I think some of you are probably looking at me thinking, isn't it there already? Not yet. Not that I'm aware of. Maybe it was. Maybe it's already. I don't pay attention to Chrome. I do the updates because I got Chrome on this computer. I do the updates, but after that, I close it and I go back to Firefox. That's just how I've been doing things. I don't pay attention to Google Chrome like I used to because Google Chrome has got a bigger footprint than what I'm happy with, and it's everybody's go-to. Everybody goes to Google Chrome. Like one of the Zoom homies said the other day, why go where everybody else is going? Why not choose your own path and go where you want to go? Good point, but I've already been doing that for the last... I want to say I've been using Firefox now for... Yeah, it's probably been, if not over 2 years by now. Maybe more than that, I'm not sure. I know I have a mental notice when I actually installed Firefox on these computers and started using it. I think it's been about 2 years. I just got tired of Chrome's shenanigans. And now they're just getting bigger and heavier and slower. A lot of people telling me Google Chrome's getting slower. Firefox 139 is it's been deployed, so you can go get Firefox 139. It's got new features. 10 new security fixes have been rolled out. It's got now translation tools. If anybody are interested in translation, they've got it right on their Firefox page or whatever. I think it might be an extension you might have to go get to get the translation tool to work. I don't know. I didn't study up on that. I was just listening to Brentech on YouTube, and he was saying that Firefox has got now translation tools. So for people that get things in Japanese or some kind of other language, Firefox now has, or might be getting, a tool that will decipher like Chinese language. That tool will write it out in English as to what they're saying or what was said or however. I know there's other people that have other ways of doing it. You continue doing it that way if you want. I'm just pointing out that they've got a new tool that is coming out that helps with translation. Something I didn't know about, this is the last note that I've got, because we're at 2:29. I didn't know about this. I haven't checked into it. Something called Review Checker in Firefox. Well, anyhow, you don't have to worry about it anymore, because of June 10th, they're shutting it down. So there's another service that Firefox is shutting down. Review Checker and Pocket. And maybe a few other features, things that they have that I probably missed by 10 miles of things they're going to be removing. But that's the two things that I've caught up to in the last couple of days. Is I've never heard of this Review Checker. I don't know what the H that is. But like I said, you don't need to worry about it anymore because they're shutting it down. With my regular chit chat and things I use, usually things I remind you guys of is, check all your browsers for updates. And what I would start doing is start doing it on a regular basis. Simply because these exploits that are coming out nowadays, I mean, Google Chrome just keeps getting hammered with these exploits. I mean, Firefox has had a few of them, but like I said, Google Chrome is everybody's go-to. Well, of course, they're going to flood Google Chrome with all that garbage that nobody wants. So, check your browsers often for updates, because as long as these exploits, these active deployed exploits, are going around the world and hitting browsers, the best thing you can do is check for check for updates and patches regularly, because you don't want to get caught up in the into that mess. It's quite nasty, and the further it goes on, the worse it gets. So, best thing to do is just check all your browsers, even if you don't use them. Like, I have a bad habit about checking um, Microsoft Edge for updates because I don't use it. But still, go back and update it anyhow, even if it's a browser you don't use and it's installed on your computer. Update it. Like today, after this live stream is over, I'm going to go to Microsoft Edge and update it, even though I never use it. It's been recommended that you update the browser whether you use it or not. You exploits and all that fun stuff could still find their way in. It's not as likely that you and I are going to get exploits and all the bad, nasty stuff, but I'm not going to say it isn't possible. So that's how you protect yourself from that, is just checking for regular updates. And I have so many people I've talked to in the past that, it's one of my normal questions I have with some of these people is, have you updated your browser in the last 6-7 months? Update browser. What the hell are you talking about? Okay, you haven't. I usually get their address, or while I'm on the phone with them, I'll tell them how to do it. And you'd be surprised by the number of people I tell them how to do that. They tell me they've never done that. They've never done that before. So as long as you've had that browser, you've never updated it. Well, nobody ever told me I had to, and nobody ever told me how to do it. I thought it was done automatically. Most of the time it is. Because every time you start that browser, when it has an update, it's supposed to, like whenever I start Firefox, if I've missed one of their updates, before it opens, it says Firefox is updating. Please wait. Wait a second or two, and Firefox opens as normal. It just has to get through that update to do that. But if you never open, like some people never open their Microsoft Edge, that means you're not updating it. Open it every once in a while and check for updates. Do that to every browser you have on your computer, whether you're using that browser or not. It's critically important you do that, because the exploits and the vandals, the internet vandals, will start looking for a browser that you have not updated. And once they find it and it's not been updated, well, God knows what they can do. I don't want to find out, so like I said, after this live stream, I am going to update every single browser I have. Any other kind of news I have here? No. Last thing I want to talk about in the last 5, maybe 10 minutes here is, got my bike sitting there. I've got to get my kickstand fixed, and I don't have the tools to do that. Somehow I snapped one of the bolts off the kickstand, because the kickstand attaches to the frame, and it's got 2 bolts sitting right next to each other, and one of them broke. The head just snapped right off. So I don't have an extraction tool. I'm gonna have to take it to the bike shop, have them do it, and yeah, it's gonna be expensive, but anything they do is expensive, so I think it'll do fine. As long as I don't ride it much and I keep that one bolt kind of tight, I think it'll do okay till I go to my mom's on the 18th. So on the afternoon of the 17th, I'm going to take it over there. I'm telling them to check the brakes, do the regular checkups as far as the brakes, the shifting, and then I'll, yeah, by the way, fix my kickstand because I snapped the bolt off of it. I know the one guy that's going to be standing there, he's just going to look at me and he said, how in the world did you manage to do that? It's like, I don't know. I just noticed that my kickstand, when I kicked it one day, I was like, downtown, I was at the credit union. And I took my kickstand and I kicked it in the upward position. The whole thing went. I was like, wait a minute, you're not supposed to. And I looked closer, and sure enough, one of the bolts had got snapped off. So, I don't know how it happened, but they're going to have to get an extraction tool for that. And thank you, Ken. I'm going to have to, take it to them and have them do their whatever, because that's going to get expensive. That's going to be at least $45, maybe $50 for them to do that. Instead of the $10, $15 they should charge you for taking and extracting a bolt, now it's going to be expensive. But I don't have any of those kind of tools here, so they usually check my chain to see if it's stretched out. I should go buy one of those tools myself and then do it myself. In fact, that's probably what I'm going to do when I'm over there, is just tell them, oh, by the way, do you have a chain checker so I can see how far mine is stretched? They get to a certain point and you've got to replace it, but as many miles as I'm putting on this bike, I wear out chains very quickly because of the amount of miles that I do. And a lot of these chains, they run dry, so that wears them out even quicker. When I take my trip up to, when I take my trip up north, 40, 50 miles up north in one way, before I leave, I'll probably oil my chain, do my regular checkups, just like other people do, like truck drivers do. They got their own truck, their own checklist they got to go through before they take that, 500 or 600 mile trip. My 55-mile trip one way. No, it's not one way. It's two way. It's 55 miles or 52 miles or whatever up there. Then I'm gonna go an extra 4 or 5 miles, maybe make it 55, 58 miles. Turn around. Go back home. I do a bunch of running around in Pine River when I'm there, because several places I like to go to, so I might do a mile or two, maybe 3 miles in the small town of Pine River, which is the population of 911. Because in the line, one of the videos I was gonna do, actually I did do, and then I never uploaded it because I don't know, there's a lot of things I probably shouldn't have said in that video, and certain places you probably shouldn't have seen. So I never posted. I'll have to do this next video that I do when I go up north. I have to be a little bit more careful as to what I'm video recording, because I don't like people being in my videos, because most of the people, their eyebrows go to the bottom, to the top of their eyeballs, and they're looking at me like, what in the world are you doing? And I'm like, shutting the GoPro off and putting it behind my back. So I'm not doing anything. I'm just standing here. They look at me like, what are you doing? Like, well, video recording myself, and I just don't want to get caught up into that. Not that I've had anybody this year do that, but in the years past, I've had people walk up to me and say, no, you can't do that. And they stopped doing that because once I reached out to the police department, they told me there's no law in Crow Wing County preventing you from video recording on the streets of Brainerd. These people, who I haven't seen very much anymore, the one guy I have seen about a month or two ago, he went right past me. He didn't say a thing. And I had my GoPro on my bike. He didn't say a damn thing to me. I think the police department reached out to a few people on Front Street and Laurel Street and told them, hey, if he's doing video recording, or anybody's walking with a video recording camera or whatever, leave them alone. They're not hurting you. You're not hurting them. They're just doing short video or whatever. Leave them be. That's the best thing that police department could have done because I have not gotten harassed about it since. Hello, yes. Is that your name? Yesy? Yesai? Or however, I'm sorry I'm butchering your name, but Yesy? I guess I'll say it that way. Hello. Oh, who else do we have here? I suppose I should pay attention to chat instead of... Spectre, I asked if you were here. Apparently you're not. You came in and say, hey, Rick, how you doing? And then you left. Probably shouldn't do that. Because I'm looking for you now, and I don't see any more posts from you. So, yeah, if you guys come into my chat, I'd like you to stick around at least for a little bit. Don't just say hi and then leave. I'm afraid that's what Spectre may have done. Because he asked, how am I doing? And I was, I answered him. I don't know if he heard me, but Spectre, I'm doing fine. I'm just fighting a little bit of a cold. But enough on all that. 242. And I don't see anything else going in chat, so it's 243. I know this is probably a bad idea to have notes on what I'm going to talk about, but I've tried doing it without notes, and I'll tell you what, I've been so far off key that I had something in my head I was going to talk about, and then I went and talked about something else, and never did get to what I was talking about, so I've got notes there to kind of keep me on track. Yeah, that idea is not working either. Oh, one thing I want to talk about, and then I'll let you guys go. I promise. My network still isn't working. And I've had another guy up here recently. He's from Pequot. He's up north. One of my other friends that knows him called him because everybody here in my area is sick and tired of working on my crap that doesn't work. His thoughts are, from what he has seen, because he looked at all three computers and charged me a healthy amount for it. That wasn't anything fun paying for, but thank God I had my debit card here. I said, well, do you got a card reader? Because I could pay you right here. It's like, yeah, I suppose we could do that. Yeah, 70 some dollars later. I really don't like what he told me. And I don't know if he's right. He could be right. He could be wrong. I think I gave him the $70 some for guessing. I think that's all he did. But he says all three computers are at fault. And he's beginning to think each one of these computers, what he suggests, and I'm not going to do it because it takes forever. And he said, you probably don't know how to do it right compared to how I do it right. But you probably should just reinstall Windows on all three computers. Except this time, have a professional remote in, or have somebody that knows how to do it for you, because one of the problems he's having on these computers is and I don't know, I guess you can go look at the log of how things were done way back when, and he said there's a lot of errors at all three computers that are pointing to the network driver, network cables, network wires, the router. This thing, the modem box, he said could be at fault. He told me, he said, if I was you, I would just pony up, get $300, and have some guy that knows what he's doing for software come in here remotely redo Windows, and then somebody's gonna have to somehow get your network set up. Because he's hitting the same roadblock I'm hitting. Is it's asking for user password authentication or something like that. He will not let me go any further. Once that little shield shows up, gold shield, whatever it is, um, he won't let me go around that. And he, for the life of him, could not figure out where that's coming from. Because he doesn't have it on his. When he set up his network for network sharing, he never came up against a shield that says you gotta enter your network password authentication. And he's looked at me and he said, "Who's telling you to set your computers up this way?" And he said, "I hope to God you're not going off of YouTube's advice." Like, well, these people on YouTube say they're professionals, but he said I'd stop taking their advice, because if that's what you're doing, that it kind of explains why your router can't talk to that computer correctly. It's not talking to this one correctly, and it's completely missing the one in the bedroom. Who told you to do that? Well, nobody specific. It's just how I've been kind of think, no. You don't do it the way you think you're supposed to do it. You do it the way you are supposed to do it. And if you're guessing, then you need to stop and have someone come in here and like pay the $300 some, and they'll spend all day and all night here fixing what you broke. So that's what I was told, and that's because I can't get anywhere with it. But he said that password thing, user thing, he said, he looked at me and said, "I don't know who you've been talking to, but you're getting bad advice from somewhere." He said, "I'd stop taking the advice from who you're getting it from and start going to people like me. But if you want us to fix this, you better have a lot of money for it, because we're going to charge you for each and every computer. Then we're going to charge you to work for this modem, DSL modem, whatever." He may have to have CTC come over and switch that out to something different, because he was seeing problems in this as far as sharing the network. The way he does it, he's at the higher tier of network admin, whereas most people are kind of in the middle. He's at the straight top. I mean, he went to colleges just for network IT, and that's all he knows. Installing Windows and getting Windows to work with the network and sharing files. He knows how to do that quite well. But he said the way you've got this whole network set up and the wires you're using, he said you need a whole new do-over. And this time, whoever does it has got to do it right. And he promises me the problems I'm having will go away. That shield user password thing will never show up if it was done correctly. So he said, it's your choice. I can do it and charge you $300 some for it. Or you can go back to the internet and start taking their advice, but he kind of thinks I shouldn't, even though I'm going to. Because he's hard to, for him to get over here, took me about a month of calling them consistently, because nobody in Brainerd wants to work on my network. I've called everybody, and everybody's already gotten the news that my networks is so messed up, they don't want to work on it. And now the guy from Pequot came down here, and now he knows exactly why nobody wants to work on it. It's that badly messed up. He said it's not even working with the internet correctly, because it's slowing. All the computers are slowing your internet network, because the way the computers are talking to the network and to each other, it's just slowing it down to the point where if this computer is doing this, you can't have that computer doing something, because it just... it's the way your computers are configured to work on the network. And again, he asked me for it while he was picking up his stuff and walking out the door. He said, again, I ask you, Rick, who told you to do this? Like, nobody did. I just kind of took it off their advice from what I've been hearing, kind of put the pieces together, and he said, yeah, you need to stop doing that. Well, that's what I'm going to continue to do, because somebody out there knows how to get this working right. It's just not me. eventually I'll find the person that I'm just not going to pay somebody $300 some to come over here and spend an hour and a half to fix my network and charge me $300 some for it. I don't see where the value in that is coming from. I really, really do not know. And there's people on the internet I won't ask. More than likely, I'll go back to the Zoom homies or somewhere and ask one of those guys, and if they don't know, then I don't know what I'm going to do. And now I'm having the problem of the network not seeing the computers. It can see this one, but it cannot see the bedroom computer. And most of the time, it won't see my server computer, which I think I need to get a new case for that. I'm really not too happy with that. But now I know what it is, what it's like to build that computer case. It's not the funnest. And it can only allow one hard drive, and really, I need something like my 5000D. That's what my computer server should be on, because it can have up to 4 hard drives. It can have up to 4 hard drives, whereas the Cooler Master 300L, the micro ATX computer case that I'm using, the very small one, it can only accept 1 spinning hard drive. The 4000D, the 5000D, the Be Quiet computer case is sitting there empty and gutted and sitting there very lonely. It can take up to 4 hard drives, the 3.5-inch hard drives. That Cooler Master, fucking door, I hate this thing. That Cooler Master can only take I hate this thing. This computer case, the Cooler Master, can only take 1 hard drive, 1 NVMe, and I think it can take up to 2 solid-state drives. The 2.5-inch. I'll show you what I'm talking about. These things, you can take up to 3 of these. Can take 1 NVMe and 1 3.5-inch drive. And that's the other thing the guy recommended, and he laughed about it. He laughed like a little girl. And he said, "Where is this so-called server computer of yours?" Why, it's that lovely $300 Cooler Master 300L. He looked at me and he busted out laughing. He looked at me and said, "You've got to be kidding me." Oh my God, again, he looked at me and said, "Again, whose advice are you taking?" Well, that was a guy that I was talking to on Zoom, and he said, "Here's this case that would work, and it's only $22, $23. So I said, "Well, I could try that one." And he said, "No. If you want a server, you should probably do it the expensive way and just go buy a server in some other country. Pay him $1,000 and get your own 5 terabyte drive out there in Wonderland somewhere, $900 some a month." He said, "That's probably what you should do. Because this whole network crap that you're trying to do isn't working." And he said, "My advice, drop it forever, never go back to it. Because the way you've got it and the way it's working, it's not going to work." So before he walked out the door, he said, "I would just drop the entire idea of And then this is what he tells most people that try to do a network with 2 or 3 computers connected. He said, don't even attempt it because it's not worth it. It's gonna be very slow because you're going from NVMe to a spinning platform, spinning hard drive. I call it spinning rust. I call it spinning rust. Ouch. But that's his advice. He said, unless you can get somebody that really knows what they're doing, just drop the idea. Or go do it the expensive way and go buy a server out there for $1,000 some and get your 5 terabyte whatever that way. He thinks I should do it that way rather than buying computers and having all these computer motherboards sitting around that I'm not doing anything with. He thinks the more simpler way is just to go out and buy a server and do it on it. I don't know. He said if you want to do it that way, call me and we can set you up. I mean, it's 900 something. Well, it's $1,000 some to get it all going, but he says once you get beyond that point, then it's pretty easy from there. It's just you got to know somebody that knows how to update it, keep how to do server upgrades and server whatever. He said we can do it. We're just very expensive. So if you can find someone that can get you a server out there. And then I asked him, I said, well, how much is it going to cost me to take all of my movies, my music, my videos, and put them out there on the cloud? He doesn't know. It depends on where that server is. Wherever. I said prices are very expensive. And if you're living here in a low-income building, I don't think you can afford to have a server out there that will handle all your movies, your music. He says, I don't think you can afford doing that, but that is an option. It's just a very expensive one. He does not recommend doing this home network stuff because the way I've got it set up, it will never work. And he said, obviously, people in Brainerd know how you have it set up, and they're not going to deal with your shenanigans and the bullshit that you're putting them through, thinking you've got a simple network flaw and taking 5 minutes. He looked at it, he said, it's not that easy. The way this whole thing is working, he said, and by the way, it's working illegally. He said this whole thing should be shut down, torn apart, and rebuilt from the ground up. And then this time, he said, have somebody do it right. Because all these computers are not configured even for this kind of network. He said it's not working right. From computer to the router to the modem. He said, no, this whole thing is messed up. He doesn't know what CTC did. But he said maybe it's just the network itself. Maybe it's the building handling the network. But maybe you can't do file sharing in these apartments. Maybe it's just not possible. I said, you might be right. I don't know. Nobody has been smart enough to get into my computers and pinpoint, there's your problem. And he said they can't do that because every computer you have here, including this laptop, is a problem. And he said to fix that, he said, really, it's not worth it. He said, I would just forget file sharing or go the expensive way and $1,000 some. That's just the start of it. Price goes up from there. And I'm not going to do it that way. I told him I can't afford that. And he said, well then, don't ever watch your movies. The way you're watching your movies on your computer, you can't do that. So I would suggest getting back onto the legal side of doing things and just stick to YouTube and your browsing of the internet instead of doing this movie thing that you're trying to do on all these computers. For one thing, he doesn't understand why I'm trying to do it on all 3 computers. It should only be one. He said, how do you do it on just one? Because I'm trying to get all these computers to have all different movies on both computers, then put them all on one computer. and just watch them from one computer, but I don't want to do that. And he said, they looked at me and said, well, now you're just arguing with me to argue with me. Because every suggestion I'm giving you, you don't want to do it that way. Because I don't. I don't want to do it that way because I have each computer dedicated to doing a specific thing. But I'd like all three computers to go off of that computer if I want to watch a movie. Why have 700 gigabytes of movies clogging up a 1 terabyte hard drive when I want to put other things on it, but I need the movies and the music and everything over there so I can put all my DaVinci stuff and all my uploads onto that computer and then just leave this one for the regular browsing. But these, all three computers, I do need to have file sharing. He doesn't understand in his head at all why I'd want to do that. He said, you can do it that way, it's just I think you're wasting your time. That's all I'm telling you. It's not in these apartments in this kind of complex. It's just not going to work right. He said, you can try it, but I don't know. You're going to have to find someone smarter than you to figure it out. And then the guy got very vulgar, and then he said he was just going to leave because I was pissing him off. Because he said that's the other reason people don't want to deal with you is because you just piss them off because of your setup. I'm kind of pissed off because I've never seen a setup set up this way. The way you've got Windows running? The way your network is running? The way you've got things wired? If I were to do it, I'd redo everything and I'd charge you for it because I'd have to. But that's what somebody's going to have to do is go through the painstaking chore of resetting everything. And he said, I don't know where they want to start on that. He doesn't know, but he looked at his watch and said, I gotta go. I gotta be up in Nisswa in 10 minutes or a half hour. So I said, yeah, see you later. Goodbye forever. Yeah, so that's my story on my network. And that is my story at 3 o'clock. 3:03. Sorry it took so long to explain that, but I think it was kind of important for me to kind of tell you what. Now, that's the fifth tech I've had up here. And he's been the roughest. The guy from Pequot is the roughest. He's the one that point blank told me none of this is going to work. He doesn't even know why this is working. Because I told him I do live streams. They say, yeah, that's... How can you do... But I told him every time I do a live stream, I get no drop frames. And he said, well, maybe that is one thing you're lucky, you're just lucky it's working that way. Technically, he said it shouldn't be, because of the way the network is working. There's a bottleneck in here somewhere, and it's slowing everything down. So why Zooming is working for you, why he doesn't understand that. In his opinion, it shouldn't be. But it is. And I've got 0 drop frames. He said, well, you're just lucky. That's all there is to it. There's nothing you did right. You're just lucky that you have no drop frames. So, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. But, hey, BH Ringer. Am I doing a Doug thing today? Yeah, I really need to shut my mouth and get out of here. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys that story, is that the file sharing thing that I thought I was going to do, probably won't be doing. I'll probably just painfully, somehow, well, I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I'm going to have to put all the movies, music, and everything I have onto one computer and then just watch my movies and my music, listen to my music off just that one computer. And just not do the file sharing, because again, the way it's set up is just, unless somebody out there smarter than me can figure it out, I'm kind of stuck in the water. So, but yeah, I've said enough, as people are alluding to. I've been here way too long, talking way too long, so I'm going to shut my yap. Might get a bike ride in today. I think that's what I'm probably gonna go out and do, is to get a little bit of exercise. But if anybody has any ideas on this network stuff, you gotta be smarter than a fifth grader to get around this kind of stuff. Because I'm not smarter than a fifth grader. That's the first thing I will tell you, is I'm not smarter than a fifth grader. Um, Most of you people are, and I think most of you people might be able to figure out my network problems. Maybe you can't. Maybe it is a complete loss. Um, I don't know. I think there's somebody out there that can figure it out. It's just not me. And from what I've been told by every single other tech that I've had up here, the whole system is so screwed up that it can't see left from right. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. And then with that, I'm gonna get the heck out of here. Um, yeah, again, sorry guys for being an hour and 7 minutes. I should have stuck to my half hour and I didn't, but I don't know. That's been kind of lingering on me for a while, that my network stuff is kind of just, it's out there, not working. So yeah, it's 3:07. School's getting out here in a couple of minutes. School lets out here at 3:10. That's when the kids go out to that big parking lot, and that's when they load on all their buses. But yeah, I'm gonna go outside, get some fresh air, do some biking around. But in the meantime, if any of you have any other better ideas than what this guy from Pequot told me, let me know. Maybe there's someone out there smarter than me and can get better advice than the guy from Pequot gave me. Well, if you can do that, maybe we can talk. Maybe we can work something out and we can get this working. But I don't want to do the server somewhere out in the world for 1,000 some. I don't want to do that. My mother would definitely bark at that. She's, "You're gonna blow $1,000." No, you're not. Okay, so there goes that idea. Cross that off the list. So again, if anybody has any ideas, you know where to find me. Either here Tuesdays and Thursdays, 2 o'clock Central Time, whatever it is, Eastern, Western, however you say the rest of it. Get on my live streams and just say, if you're wanting help with your network, I got a few of ideas that might help you. It's probably ideas that I've probably already gone through, but I don't know, maybe you got a different way of doing it. It's just everybody's thing is that shield thing that's coming up with the email password thing. They don't understand why I'm running into that, because they never have. Unless they don't know. Maybe one of you guys will figure it out and we can get this working, but maybe not. It might be an idea I might just have to put on the bench and forget about, and just use one of my computers here to put all my movies on and clog up a 1 terabyte hard drive with things that should be on that computer. But whatever. I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you all have a great day. And I will catch you next time. Bye for now.